Now to another worrying development from scientists studying coronavirus. Researchers at the University of Exeter say that anyone carrying a faulty gene linked to dementia has an increased risk of contracting COVID-19. And the team have highlighted that while people with dementia are 3 times more likely to develop the most severe form of COVID-19, they are not on the list of people advised to shield by the government. Our correspondent Fraser Maud reports now on the scientists uncovering the link between COVID-19 and dementia.
A familiar scene during lockdown, a married couple finding an enjoyable way to exercise. But Jill and Paul have additional complications. Paul was diagnosed 4 years ago with a common form of dementia known as FTD. And just before the coronavirus outbreak began, their son and their nephew moved out.
I needed somebody around just to make sure that everything was safe here, and because Paul will just go. You do go off a lot. Normally, you go off for walks, don't you? Because you love going walking. etc.
Yeah, I like going walking.
And
I don't go that far.
No, not usually. We have lost you 3 times though, haven't we? When we've been on away. Yes.
Jill is pretty sure that despite not being tested, she and Paul contracted the virus in March and recovered. A relief for them, given that researchers in Exeter and Connecticut have now discovered that the same gene mutations which cause dementia, E4, can also double the risk of developing severe COVID-19. Alzheimer's specialists say the at-risk group is a relatively small part of the population, but still large enough to be considered during this pandemic.
Dementia patients aren't one of those groups that are I guess, protected further, and maybe they should be. So I do think there are potential implications, but the numbers of people with the ApoE4 genotype are relatively low. But certainly I think it does have implications, and we should take note of it.
Paul has adapted to the coronavirus restrictions with exercise and support through the internet, like the singing lessons that he's grown to love.
It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go.
Jill is just grateful that she was blissfully ignorant of this latest research before catching the virus and before lockdown began.
I think if I'd have been aware of it at the time, it would probably been even more of a worry for me. But that said, if we'd have had to lock down like the people who are really at risk, that would have been even more of a for mental health. That would have been far worse for us because, exercise and getting out in the fresh air is the only thing that, that we have to look forward, Paul has to look forward to every day.
Fraser Maud, Sky News.